Calling all stations. Clear the air lanes. Clear all air lanes for the big broadcast.
He disappeared over 65 million years ago. Now he's back. From the Bedrock Studios at WJOB in Hammond, it's T-Rex Live.
Quiet, numbskulls, I'm broadcasting.
Do you solemnly swear to tell the truth, the whole truth, and nothing but the truth? Huh? Do you solemnly swear to tell the truth, the whole truth, and nothing but the truth?
Are you trying to give me the double talk?
Do you solemnly swear to tell the truth, the whole truth, and nothing but the truth?
Why don't you answer him?
He's talking pig Latin. I don't know what he's saying.
He's asking you if you swear.
No, but I know all the words.
About face!
I won't do it. He don't pay my salary. It's a guy with a beard. I'll get up.
Basically, what the goal here today is we want to understand what exactly the teacher morale is right now, because there's a lot of major changes that are happening.
Well, most of the teachers right now, that I think under the conditions, do have good morale right now. We're working very hard as usual. We haven't really changed anything that we've been doing in the classroom right now. We are concerned about some of the issues that have come up with downstate, as far as some of these new things we're trying to pass with collective bargaining and so forth. So we do have a concern there, and of course we hope that a lot of that stuff gets negated, and just keep things as keep things the way they are right now. I mean, things are going great right now. I don't see any reason to change anything right now with education.
Sure.
As far as the collective bargaining part of it.
Okay. Now, how long have you been over at Eggers Middle School?
God, I think about 18 years.
18 years now.
Yes.
So it's not your first rodeo.
No, I taught 3 years elementary, and then I've been at Eggers ever since.
Okay. So, I mean, this is a major hot button, and it seems to have sprung up as of late. Practically almost out of nowhere. It just seems as the states have been running after unions. I mean, of every making. Now, one of the bigger issues in education that I think a lot of people, especially the parents, have been facing lately has been the curriculum. It's not the math and the science that the kids are doing nowadays is far beyond anything the parents could have done back when they were that age. So the parents themselves are ignorant of it, and I don't mean that in a bad. I mean that's the truth. They are. That X and Z. What does that have to do with math? And so when the kids come, hey, Mom, Dad, I need help with this. They're looking at it. Well, I don't know. I've never seen this before in my life. I can't even begin to show you how to do it. Is that an issue that you've been seeing at school too?
I don't know if it's an issue, but I just sometimes I used to teach math, and I'm not teaching math now. I'm doing Project Lead the Way, which is it's like a engineering course that gets kids ready to become engineers. It goes on to high school and so forth. But when I was teaching math, I would say the curriculum is a lot tougher, because I can recall when I was in middle school and some of the things that we're asking our 7th and 8th graders to accomplish are now, when I was at school, I wasn't probably getting that until my freshman year in high school. We're exposing them at earlier ages, 7th and 8th grade especially. So that can be an issue a little bit. Sometimes maybe, and I try to tell some of my students, because they'll come to me with math problems, even though I don't teach math, they'll come to me for it, and I'll help them. And I'll tell them sometimes, you might not understand this till you're freshman or sophomore in high school, because your brain's just not ready for it. Especially
okay, 219-845-1100. Hello.
Good morning, T-Rex.
Hey.
How are you? I just wanted to call and let you guys know the last issue that you brought up about parents not being able to help their children with some of their homework because the work has changed over the years.
Yes, sir.
It's a larger issue than your teacher has made it out to be. I graduated in 1982. Mm-hmm. I have one sophomore child and one third-grade child. Around about 6th grade, my oldest boy, a lot of his math work, I couldn't help him with it because they have changed the way that the children come up with a lot of these math figures, the way that they work their problem.
Absolutely.
And, I sit down and look at it, and I try to tell him, okay, this is the way you do it. And he says, well, no, that's totally different than what my teacher wants us to do. And it gets the child confused.
Absolutely.
And so it is an issue because, especially in math has changed a lot throughout the years. That's all I wanted to add.
All right. Thanks for the call.
Okay, I'll respond to that one.
Go ahead.
if your children are like in the Hammond school system, we have adopted a math program in elementary school where they kind of changed the way we multiply and divide. So they have what's called a lattice method, which is a different way of multiplying in a way most people learn to multiply the general way to multiply. So they draw this box and everything. So it is confusing, and if you're a parent trying to teach your child how to multiply and you try to do the lattice method, it is kind of confusing at first. My answer to that is, yeah, you're right. It has changed a lot, and that can be difficult for both the parent and the child, and it also can be confusing for the child. I know when I taught 6th grade math and I had students coming to me with the lattice method, which is a good method, I'm not taking anything away from it. What I did was I worked with them on both, and I didn't have a problem with either one of them as long as they understood one way or the other how to correctly multiply or divide or subtract or whatever whatever the case may be. So I kind of let them go either way, whichever way they were comfortable, the student. So that, because we want the kids to build up on their strengths anyway. So I'm not going to be real stringent and say, well, you got to do it this way or that way. Let's do it the way that you do best, and hopefully that's the best way you understand it. And of course that's the goal, isn't it? So they're so they do know how to multiply, whether it's the lattice method or traditional multiplication or what have you. So.
All right, 219-845-1100. Hello.
Yes, I was going to ask the teacher if they could give a complete kind of rundown on the reading programs that they have at the elementary school to make sure that if the child is behind, they have assistance there, or if they have special issues, or there are special instructors there, and kids who have a problem focusing. Do you have methods in which to have them try to keep up, even though there's a lot of barriers that they're trying to overcome?
Okay, that's a very good question. I'm not sure because I haven't taught elementary in a while what they have. I know that they have literacy coaches, I believe, in every school now. So that would be one avenue, is a literacy coach would be able to help them. Also, just reading, if a parent takes time to read to their children, that helps out a lot too, if you can read to them. Another strategy that I try to use even with my students now is to help with comprehension. I know this is kind of difficult, but if they have like a reading book, like a textbook from school, students aren't allowed to write in a textbook or underline or anything in their textbook, obviously. So I tell my students to grab a notepad or a piece of paper and a pencil, and actually while they're reading, take notes of what they're reading. So maybe read a paragraph and write down one thing that's important on that paragraph. If there's a word they don't understand or know the meaning, write that word down. Look it up in the dictionary. I know it takes a little effort on the child's part, but that's how you develop their vocabulary. Also, pronunciation is something, fluency when kids read. If they're really stuttering on a word and they can't pronounce it, that might mess up their ability to comprehend that sentence or whatever. So fluency is important too. So that's something where students have to work on pronunciation, and I think that comes from an earlier age with phonics.